In other news, we watched this week with interest. Newcastle United made a very quiet move, but we had wind of this happening. They appointed Nottingham Forest Chief Football Officer Ross Wilson as their new sporting director, which made us think we know all about the role of sporting director because we know about VSI Executive Education and the work they do in this direction, because the co-founder and executive chairman at VSI Executive Education is Andy McIntyre, a friend of this show, and they train the next generation of sporting directors. Andy joins us on the show right now. Andy, good afternoon to you. I mean, the role itself, is it one of the most challenging, sporting director? Is it one of the most challenging in the Premier League?
Good afternoon, gents. Many thanks for the time on your show.
Hi, Andy.
It absolutely is pivotal to the long-term success of a sports organisation. You've talked this morning about sustainability in sport, about the regulator. If a club really wants to be belt and braces safe, they have to have a highly equipped individual in charge of the performance side of their business. A coach typically is driven by short-term needs and aims, but owners need somebody who's going to be responsible for the medium and long term of their organisation.
So, I mean, you are dealing with lads who are coming through. Are a lot of them ex-players, Andy?
We have a number of ex-players who come through. And at the very outset, when we launched the company with my co-founder, Tony Faulkner, we took a view that if you could deliver education and leadership skills to people with a vast industry experience. For example, Jolie Lescott has just graduated through the programme. You know, he's played for England, he's played for Manchester City, he's known the highs and lows of football. You can't teach anybody that experience, but what we can deliver to Jolien is the knowledge and learning that allows him to sit credibly in a senior leadership role. Wes Morgan, captain of Leicester City, and that famous Premiership title-winning season, he's been through the programme, he's graduated with distinction. But it's not just professional players, it's people who are working in the industry already, who've got ambition to take the next step up and sit credibly in a senior leadership role.
Yeah. There's actually go on, Dan. We had Lee Dykes, who's technical director at Brentford on Monday night, and he actually works with the coach, but under a football director. So you're looking at technical director, football director, sporting director. There's so many different aspects to each role. I mean, what do you cover everything?
Well, so Lee Dykes is actually a graduate of our programme.
Right.
He came to when it was a low point in his career. Bury had just gone under, and he'd been working there as sporting director. Came and studied with us. By the way, what an industrious, bright character he is.
He's really good, he was.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's pulling up trees at Brentford. Watch out for a big career for Lee. He's technical director at the moment. I see him being sporting director at a very significant club in a short period of time. Often the challenges and responsibilities of the positioner become conflated. I actually look at the Liverpool model, and I think it's the ultimate person in charge of the performance side of the business should be titled Chief Executive of Football, as Michael Edwards is, because the performance sides of the business now are so big that, and with so many staff and so many responsibilities, one person needs to take ownership of that, reporting to the chief executive. There is a tsunami that's about to hit football, and that's artificial intelligence. And already clubs are using that with increasing effect in the performance side and the business side, just to manage the challenges but big opportunities of that. Can't rest with a coach. He's got to have somebody who takes ownership of these multi-discipline areas of an organisation.
Yeah, Andy, I mean, you put your finger on it. The game has changed so much. The scale of this area of work now and the roles that are involved, Simon, has changed dramatically. I mean, for example, in your time at Palace, did you have a sporting director?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes, I did. I mean, I'm familiar with Andy and Tony, and I know their organisation very well, and they're very good at what they do, and they're absolutely right. You know, you're talking about a business that's evolving, and AI, there's lots of AI opportunities out there. There's also lots of AI slop. So people being able to understand what they're looking at and be able to integrate it into the thinking of a forward-thinking business is indeed part of it. And I've seen some of the people that have gone on these courses. I saw from Reece Moamba there years ago, and I see the structure. I've seen the syllabus, so I know what they're doing is very good. It adds education, it adds cohesive thinking, because a lot of footballers, like Julian Lescott, would have been a leader on a field, but commercialising that and turning that into the real world now, outside of the sort of institutionalised world of football, and giving them some commercial toolkits and some education is valuable. And these are very, very good courses. And this is a very good organisation, by the way.
You know, what comes through to me, Andy, is that some of the lads that are coming your way now and you're working with them, extremely wealthy boys, having had very successful careers on the pitch. They don't need to be doing this, but they want to.
And there's a reason for that. They were successful on the pitch because they were driven, motivated and determined. Jolene's a great case in question. I stood with his mum while he was receiving his graduation certificate, fully gowned up like a true scholar. And she had a tear in her eye. And she said to me, Andy, I'm as proud of him today as I was when he's first capped for England. And I was taken aback inevitably a little bit by that. She said, because education isn't traditionally for people like us. And she said, in fact, I told him not to do it, but he was determined he was going to do it. And he sat till 2 a.m. in the morning, studying, working, driving his dissertation forward. We're part of now, our parent company is UCFB, which is the only football university in the world, exclusively football with undergraduate and postgraduate programs. Now, at a time when there's a lot of criticism of education, we're actually delivering jobs that young people can step into. So people who come through both UCFB and VSI are going on to have great careers in this burgeoning industry of sport. And the likes of Jolien and Wes sit at the top of the tree, but we've got so much young talent coming through that are making real credible cases for serious jobs in sport. It's a vocational university.
Andy, brilliant. Andy McIntyre, thank you so much for your time, co-founder and exec chairman at VSI Executive Education. And I know you've been in touch with these lads, Simon.
I've done speeches for them.
You spoke with them. Yeah,
I've done speeches for them. They're a good organisation and vocational training and thinking, and it is modular based and it's clever.
So you can teach boardroom education.
Well, you can't teach. I don't think leadership is something you can particularly teach. You can enhance skills, but the education around commercial thinking, critical thinking, evaluating the disciplines of what business needs to deploy and what logic and what sentiments are the key drivers of a business are fundamental things that we all learn. You get taught them. I didn't learn how to win and make and lose money. I didn't get taught that. I learned it through experience, and education forms part of that thinking. So, from my point of view, I was more of a natural entrepreneur. But in this world, as Andy was talking about, you've got a certain type of characteristic that makes you a professional footballer. Being a professional footballer is a very difficult thing to achieve. There are tens and tens of thousands of kids that want to achieve it. So actually becoming a professional footballer indicates a certain type of thinking.
Yeah.
Then translating it into the commercial world is a change of thinking. So I think that what they're doing is very clever, and they've been doing it for 5, 6, 7 years now. And some of the people they've got coming through it and they're landing in spaces within football are good guys.
Yeah, good. I didn't know that about Jolien Lescott. Good on him.
I know he's been in the coaching game for a while now, but he's
Get yourself down there, Murphy. Learn something.
I learned more here sat next to you than I did at any of those.
It's Jim White, Simon Jordan, and our student Danny Murphy, and we're live in TalkSport with Selco, where the trade goes.